to receive here in the studio two start-uppers. The first one was Marwan Hleli with Center of Innovation Seneca, and I have the pleasure to have with me here today Mohamed Raboudi, who is the co-founder of another startup, Alder Green Solutions, a climate tech startup. So Mohamed, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here too. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. Right. So Mohamed, how did the idea of your business come about?
That's a great question.
Tell us a little bit about Alder Green Solution, a climate tech
How
startup.
it started. I still remember it like it's yesterday. It was exactly 15th or 16th of October in 2023. So almost 2 years ago. There was a law published by the
You were still a student at that time?
Yeah, I was still a student. And my other co-founder was also a student, and Furat was working already. So we met up. But we know each other from, first of all, we worked in different startups before. Some of us knew each other from the same university. Some of us...
Which is?
Tunis Business School.
All right.
Me and Furat knew.
All right.
Both studied there.
Great minds think alike. They all come from the same source, Tunis Business School.
Yes.
A great hub.
Great place to be.
Yeah, that's right.
But also our majors were complementary. So I did finance and he did data and business analytics. So
right.
Yeah. So it started, like I said, in October 2023, and there was a law just published by the European Union called CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. So it basically is carbon taxes. I think of it like it's Trump's tariffs, but also with a layer of climate.
Right.
So what they say is that anything imported into Europe, also from Tunisia to Europe, for example, would be subject to carbon taxes. And those industries we're talking about are 6 of them. They're cement, aluminium, iron, steel, hydrogen, and electricity. So, for example, if Qatar Cement would want to export cement to France, for example, the French importer would have to pay extra carbon taxes. So the exporters, Tunisian exporters, are very interested in lowering their carbon footprint and cutting their carbon emissions so they can stay competitive in the international trade market. Because the importer can easily switch the buyer, the exporter. If there is, for example, somewhere else, same product with the same price, but he has to pay less taxes, he would rather buy from there.
Go for the other one, right.
Yeah. So that's the starting point. So we said, like, we need to do something about this. This is a huge opportunity, and we're the first ones who basically hear about it in Tunisia. I think it was just published. And Themer, my other co-founder, the CTO, was a sustainability lead in another startup. So he was very knowledgeable about it. And we slowly from there gravitated towards agriculture. So we, just to spoil it a little bit, we work on the intersection between climate and agriculture.
And the impact of climate on agriculture, of course.
Or let's say the impact of agriculture on climate, in better words.
Okay, yeah, you know better.
Yeah. So it started from agriculture because we all have backgrounds in our families. Our grandparents were farmers, and we saw firsthand how much climate change is affecting them. I mean, precisely, my Furat, my father, is from Karkna. He was very harmed by climate change. Karkna is one of the most
affected
areas by climate change. Also, like we have olive fields, and we see productivity and fertility lowering year by year, and it's getting more and more unstable to be a farmer. So, do you want me to just...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah. So, the idea was that there is a carbon market where a commodity called carbon credits are being traded. They're being bought and sold. A carbon credit, think of it like a certificate. It's a commodity. It represents 1 ton of carbon removed from the air and stored somewhere.
Right.
Anywhere. As long as it's permanent, as long as it's quantifiable, we can have a carbon credit that we can sell. In our case, we store carbon into the farmer's soil. So what we do is, first of all, we partner with farmers. We go to them directly. We tell them to switch to regenerative farming from traditional farming. They have to do 4 practices that we can get into later that make them sustainable, that make them regenerative, makes their soil regenerate. and they have a lot of benefits. They make their soil healthier. They also increase productivity on the long term if done right. The soil have much water retention, so they use less water, which is also, water scarcity is another problem that as bad as climate change. But most important thing for us in this sustainable agriculture is that the soil triples its capacity in absorbing carbon.
Right.
So for perspective, for background, the phenomena is called carbon sequestration. Any soil already anywhere on the earth absorbs carbon from the air and store it in the soil.
In the soil.
And also into the biomass, into the tree itself. But with regenerative farming or sustainable farming, it triples that. So we can absorb so much carbon, so much more carbon if we do this kind of farming, which also helps the farmer. And later, after that, we monetize it. Before we monetize it, we measure it. We measure how much carbon is being absorbed thanks to soil sampling. So we do soil sampling. We need ground truth with our partner lab. We do have a lab that does this kind of sampling, but also we added a layer that innovation that makes us different from other startups that do the same thing. That we have an algorithm that we developed that uses satellite images from Sentinel-2, and that make it very much scalable to measure how much the soil is absorbing carbon.
Right.
So it's scalable, accurate, and almost in real time. I can tell even the farmer if he reverts back to traditional farming or conventional farming. I can tell if he did thanks to satellite images, thanks to the indices I can get from the satellite. So once we have confirmed, this is verified that 1 ton of carbon has been removed from the air and stored into the farmer's soil, we generate this carbon credit and we sell it to companies that are affected by CBAM, by carbon taxes. Just that's how the whole thing started, carbon taxes and CBAM. So we identified the need that they need to lower their carbon footprint and lower their carbon emissions, or in our case, offset it. It's a compensation mechanism, it's an offsetting mechanism. So we remove carbon and they emit carbon and they buy carbon credits for us, considering as much as they emitted.
Right.
So if, for example, cement industry emits 10 carbons, 10 tons of carbon in the air today, which can happen in seconds, they buy 10 carbon credits for us. And once they do that, they have reached, theoretically, carbon neutrality. So they do not have to pay taxes, the importer.
That's very interesting.
Lastly,
yes.
one last step. This is once the carbon credit is made and sold, we pay farmers back. So we give them between 70 and 75% of the price of our revenues to farmers, so he can continue doing this regenerative farming, the sustainable farming long term, and it's profitable for them. It's extra money. It's a second source of revenue for them.
Right. And what about the impact on the farming product? I mean, using this technique. What about the product that comes from these soils, that are using the carbon here?
As you might know that soil have expiry date. It's not for forever.
Okay.
And the carbon in the soil organic carbon, the scientific term, is one of the fertilizers of the soil. So the more carbon you have the soil, the healthier the soil, the less you need fertilizers, especially if they're chemical fertilizers that are harmful. It's actually profitable in terms of spending less on fertilizers and using the natural selection itself. For example, one of the practices that we advise is that no labor or low tillage or no tillage. Because if the farmer uses tillage,
okay, yes.
Yeah, the whole carbon in the soil just gets emitted back into the air. And he would have to do the same thing. He would have to fix it using fertilizers.
Right.
So why do that if you have natural carbon in the air?
In the air, which is stored in the soil.
Into the soil that can go into making your products and your fruits and vegetables healthier. It can also be sold for much price because it's durable now.
Is that the concept that is used in organic farming?
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
We know that there is a label by the ministry that's called biological farming.
Right.
We're working on something
Organic.
similar, organic, biological, organic. We're working on something similar like sustainable farming.
Right.
It's easier, it's much lower class than organic, but also it's easier to do for the farmer. It absorbs as much as carbon.
Right. Well, from carbon, which is supposed to be something that is bad for the atmosphere, in general, and I mean, it has come into something beneficial. I mean, for the soil to improve the product. I mean, nature is here with all these beautiful recipes that it can provide. You know,
if only we trusted nature.
That's right. You trust Mother Nature is there, and it can amaze you. You know, at so many. Levels. Maybe, Mohamed, if you can go a little bit further in this chat with you. What was your key driving force to become an entrepreneur in the beginning?
That's a good question. Fun fact that I started this company when I was 22. I was still a student at Tunis Business School.
Right.
And I did my end of study thesis as an intern and co-founder of a startup. I found this passion. I mean, you can tell that from the moment I chose Tunis Business School as to continue and pursue my education,
right.
I had this passion even from high school to be an entrepreneur, to have innovative solutions to real problems. And it's fun more than anything. It is fun. I mean, it happens that we work 10 or 12 hours a day, but we don't consider that work. Actually, it is fun, and what gives us more passion that I ever could have imagined before the startup is that we're serving a noble cause,
right.
and we truly believe in it. We truly believe in potential of agriculture and helping farmers, and also fighting climate change at the same time. It's a model that we know it can work. It's a business model that have worked in Germany, so there is a startup that already did that. But we can do it and implement it in Africa, which
right,
is a region,
right.
especially North Africa, which is a region more harmed than climate change than ever. We have less water than ever, and our farmers need our help more than
That's
German
right.
farmers.
And you have chosen agriculture, which is a sector on which relies, the economy of our country, for instance.
Yeah.
It is the pillar, if I can say, of the economy of our country, and especially with the impact of the climate nowadays. And if you just go to the market and see the soaring prices, of the food products and the quality, which maybe most of the time is not the quality that we used to have like years ago. So, coming up with these solutions maybe, of course, is a wonderful thing to try and bridge the gap and offer solutions that are viable for the future of our agricultural industry as well, and food products and food stuff in general. And when we talk about food security as well, which is one of the great issues, one of the big issues, right, of the Millennium Development Goals, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not only us that we believe in it, but we found a lot of stakeholders around us in our network also that also believe in the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you came up with the name of your company. How did you come up with the name of your company here?
It's a funny story. So the company is called Alder.
Uh-huh.
It was primarily...
Alder, not older, right? It's
Alder.
with A.
Yeah, Alder, A-L-D-E-R.
Right.
Funny story is that initially it was a placeholder name. So we call it Alder for the sake of Alder. That was before even we made a logo or anything. But it grows anew, so it stayed Alder, and even the logo was a placeholder. So, but what Alder is, what it means is that it has a meaning. It's a species of trees that has huge potential of carbon sequestration, meaning carbon absorption.
Okay.
It absorbs so much carbon from the air, and we have it in Tunisia, which is subspecies of it. It's Sanober.
Sanober.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
So you can say that the mission is to make any tree like alder tree.
Okay, all right. So I see the point. How has being an entrepreneur affected your family life? Let's say.
Oh, my family life. Well, you always expect resistance from here and there because it's unorthodox, it's unconventional.
It was a kind of resistance at the beginning.
A little bit. I'm not gonna exaggerate, and because I mean, as a father and mother, you would want your kid to do 9 to 5 or
Right.
8 to 5 in our case. But they came to accept it slowly, and they have seen the progress that we made.
And they supported you.
Yeah, they do. Actually, my mother gifted me one of the. I don't have it. One of the pens that has alder in it. It's in silver. It was for my birthday, and it meant a lot to me because
That's wonderful.
it's like Sana say that it's where you don't have to do an 8 to 5. You can focus on your startup.
That's right.
Yeah.
So do you believe that there is some sort of a pattern or formula to become a successful entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, everyone has his own journey. It's a case by case scenario. But I'm gonna say something a little bit cliche. Maybe is that endurance.
Endurance.
I mean,
Right.
even for an idea as
Perseverance.
yeah,
Right.
even for an idea as compelling as Alder. I mean, from all the problems we solve, we have faced a lot of no's, a lot of rejection,
Sure.
which is normal.
These are challenges that you
Yeah.
have to put up with.
Exactly. But also, one of the challenges that I have faced personally, if I'm being honest, was managing people. Managing people, even co-founders around you, people that work around you, stakeholders, interns, employees, consultants. Managing people and keeping them motivated for a long time, making them passionate about the work they do every day for a long time is very challenging.
Very challenging.
Yeah, and something
yes.
that you have to learn as an intern. Because doing everything on your own initially, because you don't have the capital, you do everything on your own. You
Right,
code.
right.
You it's okay. But once you grow out of that, you would have to start delegating. And if you're a perfectionist, and you're gonna have a hard time.
That's
But,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult, especially managing people is a hard task, as you said. This brings me to the next question. What would you say are the top 3 skills needed to be a successful entrepreneur? Managing people, maybe
Managing
could be
people,
one.
Yeah, you have to be good with people. I'm
Right.
going to include networking in that. You have to build a network. You have to know how to talk to people, how to sell your idea, and how to sell yourself, how to pitch. That's all. That's one under one umbrella. The second thing, which is perseverance, we already said.
Right.
But if I have to choose a third one, I would choose discipline, maybe, because you set
Discipline,
your own time.
right,
I mean, if you
right.
don't show up to work for a week, nobody would tell you.
Sure.
But you would have full responsibility, and you would directly hurt your startup and yourself. So you have to be disciplined. And it's true, it's not an 8 to 5, but trust me, there are days that you'd work 12 hours a day,
Right.
and you have
And maybe
to.
sometimes the 24 hours are not enough for you to finish the work that you have started.
Yeah. So
There are days like that.
you have to
Right,
be an
right.
overachiever. Yeah.
Well, what key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in?
Sorry, can you?
What are some of the key activities that you would recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in? You say, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to invest your time in doing this and that. What would you recommend here?
Invest
activities?
your time, yeah. Invest your time in reading. A lot
In
of
reading.
Yeah. A lot of reading. You have to read articles
Reading
and
stuff
research.
that is related to
Yeah.
what you would like to do?
You need to always keep learning, because
Right.
you're working on something innovative. So I bet there is every day something new happening in your industry. So get used to reading a lot of articles, a lot of research papers, but also engage in fun activities here and there. So,
Okay.
so you need to keep. You have to keep something.
Talking
of
about the fun activities,
work and
what do you
life balance.
enjoy doing apart from, taking care of your startup?
I enjoy spending time with my family.
Okay, no other hobbies?
Yeah,
Sports, games?
yeah, I do work out from time to time a little, but my family is my source of strength, because I don't live with them, so I only have to see them once or twice a month. So I try to spend as much time as possible with them.
The rest of your time is dedicated to your startup.
Yeah,
No fun? Well, there is a saying that says all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Well, I just said it is fun. The startup is the fun. I mean,
right.
part of it because it's fun. That's what we do. Well, of course.
Because it's passion.
Yeah.
Because you are passionate about it.
Exactly.
And that explains it all.
It
right.
is the fun. But yeah,
Right.
but well, we go out with friends almost every week. So there is that.
Your last question. Who has been your greatest inspiration?
My great inspiration.
Right.
She gotta be her, my mother.
Your mother.
She gotta be my mother.
Shall we say behind every successful startupper there is a mother?
It should be. Or a father.
Or a father.
Yeah.
Parents, yeah, they are the first support, of course. I mean, support from the family really is very important, and this is how you can, not only believe in your dreams, but make them come true.
Exactly, but I also believe that not only right here, right now support, but when I look at it, my whole mindset, big part of it comes from what I learned as a child.
Right.
And it's very hard to change something once you absorb it as a child. It becomes part of your character, it becomes part of personality, and a lot of it comes from parents.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Grateful to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Any final message, Mohamed?
I would like to thank my two co-founders, Furat Beji and Themen Ridi, who I started this journey with, and they're great people to work with. Also like to thank stakeholders that supported us from the start, like Startup Village, Medianet, FAO, APIA, and surely I forgot a lot of them.
No problem. Well.
And stay tuned for more, because we're hearing as we get closer to 2026, that's where the carbon taxes hit. So right now we don't pay any taxes, but in 2026 they're going to be here, and stay tuned for that. We're going to have, inshallah, a successful carbon market in Tunisia and in Africa, so the first of its kind, but also inclusive to farmers, that farmers can directly benefit from. They can have direct access to cash for implementing something good, which is sustainable farming.
Right.
So it's first of its kind financial incentive for sustainable farming.
Good luck, Mohamed.
Thank you
it's a
very
pleasure
much.
to have you today, to have Marwan as well, who has just left. We are so proud to have young people like you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And more chances of success, not only in Tunisia, but abroad, where you can take these projects onto other levels and other countries as well.
Thank you very much.
You're
It was a
welcome.
great pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Our last track for you today.